Like, did you ever think that you would be this rich?
You know, it's funny because I remember me and Justin having a conversation, and we were like, bro, how can we take this to $5,000 a month? That was our goal.
Yeah.
$5,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times we don't believe in ourselves enough, you know, from the beginning. A lot of people, like, we have these dreams and goals and aspirations, but we don't really believe what we're saying sometimes. We just like, I want $1 million company, but they don't really understand what that means and what that entails. That's why manifesting is so important. Really speaking to what you want to do in life and really putting it out there so that not only you can hold yourself accountable, but other people can as well.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I don't even want to be a CEO. I want to be an owner. I want to own support by colleges, but don't have to work every day. See, when you're a CEO, you still have to manage, you still have to put out fires, you still have to do the day-to-day things to a certain extent. I don't want to do nothing and let it continue to grow and make money for me. That's how you become really wealthy. When you're having to work something every day, when it can't run without you, you're still a slave to the job, whether you're a CEO or not. Being a CEO sounds good, it looks good. Oh, I'm a CEO, I'm a businessman, I want to own it. But
wait, hold on, that's a big bar. Say that again. Hold on, listen. You gotta tell the people one more time though, because that's big bag talk.
All I'm saying is, you know, I think a lot of times people want to be a CEO because it's a glorified title now. And before, CEOs and entrepreneurship wasn't cool. And so now that it's getting cool, people want to be that, but don't understand the work that comes with it. The day-to-day, the putting out fire. I put out fires every single day. Like every day is something different that comes up in my business that I have to solve. So I want ownership. I want to lay the foundation, and I want everybody else to build it for me while I reap the benefits of what they're building.
No, I love it. I love it. And so how does one get to that point, right? How does one get to the point where they could build something sustainable and then be able to, you know, play basketball, go to, you know, go out to eat, have brunches? Like, how do they do that?
Yeah, I think it starts with your why, right? Why are you doing what you're doing, right? And what problem are you solving? See, a lot of businesses, people want a business to have a business, but not to solve a problem. And so when you're solving problems, that means that that problem will always need to be solved. So when a problem always has to be solved, you always have a business.
Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video.
Pay attention and listen, we about to teach class. Inside the vault, my man Ash Cash. So get your man right. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. You see him to change your life. Millionaire mindset, the best on earth. Blueprint, the wealth, the knowledge network. So get it while you can, and he's standing right here. Just come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.
All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Hey, yo, when I tell you that this next guest is barred up, if you do not learn how to make your first $1 million on the internet selling real products and service after you watch this video, then I cannot help you. The world can't help you. Go get a job, work a 9 to 5, or work for somebody who is a boss. Because when I tell you that this information is going to change your whole entire life, I am not exaggerating. This is not a hyperbole. I got my man, Corey Arvinger, in the building. What's up, brother?
What's going on?
And he can hoop too, right?
Some slight.
Yo, surprisingly, and no disrespect, right? Respectfully. Yo, I remember my guy Neo, fast out to my guy Neo. Neo like, yo, we about to ball 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, yo, I'm coming through, right? I come through, I see Corey, and you know, he got the glasses on. He don't look like a hooper. I'm like, what's this dude gonna do, man? This dude ain't got no game. Hey, yo, when I tell you this guy gets busy, like he's a hooper.
Man, listen.
Man.
I like that, though.
Yeah.
People don't know, but, you know, you from New York. I'm from North Carolina.
Yeah.
All we do is hoop.
Right.
All my life, I hooped against some people that are in the NBA.
Yeah.
And folks just don't know. So when it's time, I like to be the last pick and make the biggest impact.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. And so for those who don't know, because we're going to get into all the smoke.
Let's do it.
But for those who don't know, who is Corey Arvinger?
Yeah, so my name is Corey Arvinger. I serve as the CEO of a company called Support Black Colleges, and we focus on getting our black kids to our black schools. From North Carolina, come from a single-parent home. And I'm just somebody out here trying to make it, man. I'm trying to get some money. I'm trying to do it the right way, and I'm trying to put my family on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And so take us to sort of like the genesis of the company, right? Because, you know, fast out to your partner, Justin. So we had Justin on the show. And he's just like a genius.
Different.
Like he's like his D different, right? Different. Like his cool, mellow, like metaphysical, like he was giving us bars. And I was like, that after I watched it, I was like, yo, I didn't even, you know what I'm saying? So he's like a out of this world genius, right?
Yeah, he one of them.
Yeah, but tell us about the genesis of Support Black Colleges.
Yeah, so you know, it's funny because I didn't really know a lot about HBCUs before I went to Howard. And my mom actually went to Howard. But it was like she wanted me to make my own decision, so that she didn't say much, which could have ultimately done me a disservice. But I kind of like that she let me do my own thing. Yeah. And so I stepped on campus for the first time. I had never been there before. I applied to Carolina. I applied to Duke. I applied to A&T and Howard. Howard was my last choice. So when I went to Duke in Carolina, it didn't feel like home. Yeah. I walked around doing what we call a smile test. You walk by, people smile. Hey, how you doing? See how they respond. Right. And everybody was looking at me like, who is this weirdo? Kind of thing. And I'm like, all right. I ain't seen no black people. It was like only Indian, Asian. And so I'm like, I just don't really feel like how college looks to me on TV, on Drumline, on AT. Like, it didn't look like that to me. Yeah. And so my first day going to Howard was actually my first day moving in. And when I stepped on campus, I'm like, hey, yo, like grass green, the water blue. You see all these beautiful black women. It's like guys in suits. I'm like, yo, what is this? And I literally went to the Mecca. They call it the Mecca, Howard University. And so that feeling right there, I'm like, I could not imagine not getting that feeling ever again. And so I wanted to make sure that I could put something out there so that people can understand and have the knowledge before. Because I went to a white private high school. I went to a prep school for basketball. So they weren't saying HBCU, they were saying Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest, all the local ACC, big basketball schools. So no one ever told me that that was an option, and it was a very viable option for me, but I just didn't know it. And so I wanted to make sure with Support Black Colleges that no one ever could say at least they didn't know. Anything else I don't care about, but you can't say you didn't know. And so that's kind of where I started. I'm like, yo, let me just make a t-shirt. And so I made a t-shirt. It was cool. It said Support Black Colleges, not in a logo format, but just Support Black Colleges. I wish I gotta find a shirt. It's gonna be worth some money in a few years. Right. But it just says Support Black Colleges, and the feedback was amazing. And I'm like, bro, just say Support Black Colleges. And so then I started making some Howard merch, and my friends at A&T like, make me some. My friends at FAMU, make me something. Clark, make me something. And so that's kind of how it started. Just something I was doing for fun, and it turned into what it is now. And until don't blase that. It turned into a multi-million-dollar business, right? What it is now, no, a multi-million-dollar business. For sure. And so, man, when you look at the level of success that you guys have, especially because this was, like you said, this was like not a hobby, something that you just did for fun, and to see where you are now, right? Man. Yo, you built a custom, but we're gonna get into all that, but you got a custom home from scratch. Like I'm talking about you got, like, you my rich friend. Like, they be like, yo, you know any millionaire? I'll be like, yeah, I got rich friends, right? You my rich friend. And so, like, man, to see where you at right now, and honestly, this is just the beginning, right? Yeah. But to see the massive success, like Justin, like what has been your biggest day of sales so far? Man, $1 million. $1 million in one day. Yeah, 2 days, $1 million. $1 million in 2 days, right? Like, did you ever think that you would be this rich? It's funny because I remember me and Justin having a conversation, and we were like, bro, how can we take this to $5,000 a month? That was our goal. Yeah. $5,000 a month. Yeah. And I remember having that conversation and breaking down step by step what we can do. And every month, our lowest was never even 5,000. I think our lowest in a month was like 10, 15,000 from month one. Right. Wow. So it was crazy that our goals were so low and we got to this far. Yeah. But I think that a lot of times we don't believe in ourselves enough from the beginning. A lot of people, like, we have these dreams and goals and aspirations, but we don't really believe what we're saying sometimes. We just like, I want $1 million company, but don't really understand what that means and what that entails. That's why manifesting is so important. Really speaking to what you want to do in life and really putting it out there so that not only you can hold yourself accountable, but other people can as well. And so, I think, getting from there to here has been an amazing journey because it's allowed me to learn a lot of different things, positive, negatives, wins, losses. But at the end of the day, just starting from wanting to make $5,000 to now it's just been an amazing journey.
Man. And so let's get straight to the smoke though, man, because in this internet age, there is a lot of people who just want to be an entrepreneur just for the sake of saying that they're entrepreneurs, not to really make money, not to really make impact, but just to say, yo, I am the CEO of XYZ. But you are somebody who has literally not so. And the good thing about you is that it's not only that you've made the money, there's also other people that you've helped make massive amount of money online with their products or services. And so talk a little bit about sort of like the age that we're in, right? Meaning like, yo, if you out here just trying to be a CEO faking the funk, you wasting time because there's a lot of money to be made out here. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, to the first part, I always tell people, I don't even want to be a CEO. I want to be an owner. I want to own support by colleges, but don't have to work every day. See, when you're a CEO, you still have to manage. You still have to put out fires. You still have to do the day-to-day things to a certain extent. I don't want to do nothing. And let it continue to grow and make money for me. That's how you become really wealthy. When you're having to work something every day, when it can't run without you, you're still a slave to the job, whether you're a CEO or not. So for me, I want to own it. Being a CEO sounds good. It looks good. Oh, I'm a CEO. I'm a businessman. I want to own it. I want to own it and let it do what it does, and I reap the benefits of what I already set the stone for. So that's just that. But
wait, hold on. That's a big bar. Say that again. Hold on. Listen. You gotta tell the people one more time though, because that's big bag talk. That's cough talk. Like, nah, you gotta tell them one more time.
No,
one more time.
All I'm saying is, I think a lot of times people want to be a CEO because it's a glorified title now. And before, CEOs and entrepreneurship wasn't cool. And so now that it's getting cool, people want to be that, but don't understand the work that comes with it. The day-to-day, the putting out fire. I put out fires every single day. Like every day is something different that comes up in my business that I have to solve. So I want ownership. I want to lay the foundation, and I want everybody else to build it for me while I reap the benefits of what they're building.
No, I love it. I love it. And so how does one get to that point, right? How does one get to the point where they could build something sustainable and then be able to, play basketball, go to, go out to eat, have brunches? Like, how do they do that?
Yeah, I think it starts with your why, right? Why are you doing what you're doing, right? And what problem are you solving? See, a lot of businesses, people want a business to have a business, but not to solve a problem. And so when you're solving problems, that means that that problem will always need to be solved. So when a problem always has to be solved, you always have a business. And so if my business is providing education for HBCUs, well, there's never too much education for HBCUs. There's never too much, positive messaging, scholarships, grants, loans, whatever I did. There's never too much of that. So I will always have a business. And then the way you remove yourself out of that and let the business run is automations and systems. So I put the things in place, the people in place that are needed in order for me to be able to live the life that I want to live, right? But it all started with me first. And I want to say this because everybody's like, I need a team. I need this. I need this. I was a practitioner first. Everything that I had telling somebody else to do, I've already done. And the reason why is I can't tell somebody who I wanted to do graphics, hey, do graphics, you get paid this much and it should take this much time. Well, how do I know that if I've never done it myself? How do I know how much time it really takes? Because for me, I can make a graphic in 30 minutes. So if you take an hour, I know that you're not as efficient as you think you are. And I'm not a graphics person. So if I can do it faster than you and it's the same level of quality, then I know that you're not worth it for the position. I either need to pay you more or I need to get you to work faster and pay you what I think you should be paid. So I'm a practitioner first. And then once I figure out what it takes and what it should look like and the balance and all of that, how much time it takes, then I find somebody that can meet the standards that I have for the business. Once I meet the person that has that standards, then I also look at a few other things. And one thing is, how willing are they to work for the job? And what that means for me is like, it has to be about more than the job for me. It has to be about, it has to be more than about money. Anybody who works for me for money, I don't want. And the reason I say that is, this job that I have, we wear more than one hat. So like anybody who works for me, they might do shipping, bagging, but then they might also do customer service. And they also might do vending. We're vending at InvestFest. Somebody has to do that. It's the same person who's folding and bagging. So if it's just about money for you, I know that you're not going to be willing to be a Swiss Army knife for me. And so I look for characteristics of people, then I look for skill set. Because you can train and make skills, but those character traits are something that you can't really build. Some people are, born or raised with certain character traits. And so for me, I look for those kind of people. That way I can automate my business knowing that I have the right kind of people in there for me. So our first employee was my sister. We bought her from North Carolina. She was working as a manager at a store that she did not like. And I knew that her situation was one that she wanted to change, so she's the perfect candidate. I know her well. I know her tendencies. I know what she can do. I know what she can't do. I know that she's teachable. And then I also know that she's looking for a fresh start. So why not come to Atlanta? So we brought her out here, and she started running our customer service and our shipping and our bagging and all of that stuff. And, she really led the way to, the staff that we have now.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hold on, don't press that button, because that's what I do every time I'm looking at an ad that I don't want to see. This ad just happened to be life-changing. I just happen to own one of the biggest home healthcare companies in the state of Georgia. I can help you create your own. Just to give you a little bit of insight, I send out registered nurses, LPNs, and CNAs to take care of people inside of the homes that cannot take care of themselves. But guess what? You don't have to have any medical background, and you don't have to have any medical knowledge. So if you're wanting to change your life and you have a passion for actually taking care of people, then go ahead and sign up for Home Healthcare Blueprint. I'll see you guys later.
Nah, I love it. And what was the tipping point for the company? Like what was that thing that took y'all over from $10,000 or $15,000 to like $1 million in 2 days? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of things that led up to that, but I think the first thing, it starts with building community.
Yeah.
And I preach building community first. Yeah. A lot of people, when they start brands, they instantly say, I'm selling you this. Right. I'm selling you this. Here's my book. Here's this. But you don't know the person yet. You don't know your consumer. Yeah. Think about somebody who walks up to you on the street and says, hey, buy my mixtape. Right? And you like, no. Like, right. I'm good. No, thank you. Right. But if somebody says, hey, what's going on? My name is this. I do this, man. I come from North Carolina, and I've been da-da-da-da. I got a single parent home, and they tell you a little bit about their story. Yeah. Now it gives you a chance to know the person, and you say, I might want to support the person. I don't even care about the music. Right. I want to support the person. Yeah. So I use that same thing in my business. Let me get to know about you as my customer, and let you get to know about me as the person that you're buying from. Then let's work together on the product. The sales will come later, but just let's get to know each other. And so I think building community really helped me. A lot of times, if you look on our page, we're not talking about merchandise. Right. We're talking about scholarships. We're talking about, oh, this homecoming got canceled. We're talking about this president just got hired. If this person gave $1 million to the school, we're giving out information first. Yeah. And then what happens is you give the information and you build the relationship, and the transaction comes after. People are worried about the transaction first, not the relationship. See, a transaction can happen one time, a relationship lasts forever. I want you forever. I don't want you just for one hoodie, one shirt. I want you for the life of you, that you have life. Right. I want you for the whole time. I always want to support this brand for the community they built. So I think that was the stepping stone for us being able to make $1 million. Now that, you mix that with influencer marketing and looking cool. Right. So we had a lot of big influencers, Tiana Taylor, Chris Paul, the Baby, Meg Thee Stallion. I mean, the names are endless. But we got that from building community and having a strong presence and a strong core value for our brand. Support Black colleges. Right. How could you not support that? I'm like, dang, you don't like Black colleges? And the celebrity's like, I mean, yeah, I rock with it. It kind of forces them to have to get with it. And so I think a combination of community, influencer marketing, and just putting out good product. I mean, I think a lot of times people are not selling because the product is not good. And that's just what it is. But why am I not selling, Corey? Like, I'm doing everything you're saying. I'm like, well, let me see your product. I see the product. I'm like, bro, this is a $2 t-shirt with $1 printing, and it's no messaging. And I don't get it. So it's like, you have to have a combination of things in order to get to that $1 million days or 2 days.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then so, what's the first step that somebody needs to do, right? So fresh, got a 9 to 5. I'm about to start this business. What's the first step that they should be, working on?
I say if you currently have a 9 to 5 and you're trying to go into entrepreneurship, I would first say to leverage your job to get the resources that you need to leave the job. So I'll give you an example. I used to work at AT&T, and they used to offer these free training for sales and different things. I used to always be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then I realized I went to one of them because my manager was like, Corey, I can see you like doing some other things. Like, you should tap into this. So I went to one of the trainings and they were talking about how to sell properly. And I learned I'm like, bro, that's what y'all giving out for free?
Right.
So I started going to every chance I got. Everybody like, why you always going? You just don't want to work. Nah, I want to work for myself.
Yeah.
So now I'm using and I'm leveraging what they're giving me for free for being on the job. This is free training.
Yeah.
And I'm using it to exit my 9 to 5. So everybody should start with an exit strategy.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, oh, well, let me build my business outside of work. No, let me use my job and the times and the relationships that I have and let me build something else. So I used to use my job for that. And every customer I used to get, I used to figure out what they did for a living. What do you do for a living? What do you do? When we used to talk about it, I used to give them marketing strategies while I was fixing their cell phone on what to do in their business.
Yeah.
And then when I eventually left the job, they were coming back to me for marketing help while I was starting my own thing. So I think it was important. That's one thing I would say. I think understanding your why and knowing that is extremely important. I'm a huge advocate of that because when you start without understanding that why and knowing what the real intention behind what you're doing is, you're never going to succeed because you're just doing something to do it. So having purpose and real alignment with what you got going on is extremely important. So utilizing your 9 to 5 to get ahead, understanding your why, and then just taking action.
Yeah, and then so now, once somebody takes action, because I have a lot of people who are always asking for, advice on entrepreneurship. They're, they take the first action. They got the products and services, but and they might have a product that's good, but they just don't, like what's that next step? Like how do they get to that space where they find their community, or they like how do they build that community and build that business?
I would say first you just start off by putting a product out there and seeing what happens. So like our first shirt, we just put it out there and I didn't know what the response was going to be like. But I have a saying where I say your customer is always right. If they say they don't want it, they don't want it. If they say they love it, then put it out. There's times where my customer was like, it's okay. And I still put it out because I thought it was nice.
Right.
And so then when the sales didn't come in, I was looking at like, why? And Justin like, bro, they said they didn't want it.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen. So your customer is always right. And also, everybody's trying to be perfect instead of just putting it out there. Don't be perfect, be present. Y'all trying to be perfect. Oh, I need to put out the perfect product with the perfect marketing thing. No, be present. Because they can't buy what you don't give them to buy. Like, if I don't give you a product to buy, then you can't do it.
Right.
How can you make an offer to somebody or want to make an offer to somebody, don't give them the offer, and then expect them to take an offer you don't give them?
Right.
So you don't be perfect, be present. I always tell people that. And then just put it out there. Let's see what happens. Now, if it goes well, then understand you did something right, and let's continue to replicate that strategy. If it doesn't go well, figure out what didn't go right. Hey, why didn't you buy? Hey, what was it? The price point? Was it the quality? Was it the way I released it? Was it the pictures? Whatever that looks like, and then you do your research and then get better from there. So I just say, just do it. Get it out there. When I started Support Black Cloud, I had no idea how to run a clothing brand. Even today, sometimes I'm like, bro, what am I doing?
Right.
Even today, because every day is a learning experience. But it starts with just doing it. Do it ugly. Don't do it perfect. Just do it and do it. And then also look at the people around you who are doing it well and take strategies from them. So I've looked at Nike's campaigns, Adidas. You can look at the Facebook ads library and see what ads these companies are running. I'm literally like looking at them like, how do they run their ads? Okay, video. They do no pictures. They don't put any prices in there. It's all lifestyle. And I'm taking tips and strategies from different people, and I'm using them to my advantage to, go ahead and put things out. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just look at what everybody else is doing, who paid people millions of dollars to do these things, and they just copy it.
Right. Oh, I love that. I love that. And so, how important though? Because you mentioned ads. There's a lot of people out there who kind of brag about like, yo, this is all organic. I don't spend no money for marketing. But like you said, McDonald's is a trillion-dollar business, still does marketing and advertising. Apple, $1 trillion business, still markets and advertises. And so, talk a little bit about like doing, like ads, how important that is.
I think it's extremely important, but what people have to understand is ads should just be an addition to what you're already doing. If you're using ads as your main source to get sales, then you're wrong. It should only amplify what you're already doing. So we're already talking to the space in HBCUs. We're already posting the lifestyle. We already have the influencers. When we put ads on it, it just adds some fuel to the fire. That's it. So my fire was right here, then the ad should make the fire blow up.
Right.
Literally. Some people are leading with ads and wondering why they're not converting. You didn't nurture the customer. They don't know who you are yet. You're just putting an ad in front of them, and it's like a cold call. If you call somebody cold, the chances of converting are not high. But if you've been talking to them about stuff that's not sales for a few days, and then you call them asking for something, it's a lot better chance that you'll make the sale.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at ads. I think it's very valuable, but only valuable once you have that foundation and groundwork set.
And then is it wise that somebody hires somebody to do the ads? Should they figure it out themselves?
Yeah.
You know, how do they approach that?
I say the same thing. Be a practitioner first. So me and Justin were running our own ads for a while until it was like, all right, no more.
Yeah.
And now when we hire somebody, I knew that the first person we hired, I don't think worked out. And so I knew that he didn't really know what he was doing because I tried. And if I didn't try, I wouldn't have known. I would have continued to waste money.
Yeah.
But because we tried first, then once somebody did it that knew how to do, we're like, oh yeah, they good.
Yeah,
and we just let them run it up.
Yeah.
So I think that you should try first, and then worst can happen is you're gonna be in the same place you started in,
Right.
and then let's go to somebody who knows what they're doing.
And what's a good return though on ads, right? Because I know sometimes people put $500 and should they get 1,000? Should they get 5,000? Like is it like what's a good return?
So I'll say this. When we started running our ads, I think we were starting at $5 an ad. So we started with $100. We ran we ran 20 ads for $5, and we saw what we got our return on. Some got $0, some got $2 or $3, some got $12. And from there, we scaled up on the ones that got more money than we put in, right? So when you're first starting, anyone that makes more money than what you initially put in is a good ad, right? Because the goal, if you put in $5, you get 10. Well, that's double the return.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you put $100, you're gonna get 200.
Right.
And so I would start low. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to put $10,000 in ads.
Yeah.
You don't even know if it works yet.
Right.
And when we start to segment them and put them in very specific places, then what happens is one of our best ads that converted when we targeted people who like Jet Magazine. Jet Magazine, right? Who would think that?
Right.
And that ad is slapping, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then we targeted the word HBCU and it didn't work as well. Even though our brand is, you see what
Wow.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why testing these different ad sets is so important because you never know what's really going to hit. And sometimes you got to switch up what you're putting out in front of people.
Yeah.
Jet Magazine might like pictures, but they might not like video.
Yeah.
Or HBCU might like video, but not like pictures. It's so many different things, but any return is good that's over the profit that you put in the first place. That's what I would say.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then so now, what's your thought process on selling online versus like selling in person, brick and mortar? Is it give me your thoughts. Yeah.
So brick and mortar, I don't want it all. I never want to own a store. Me personally.
Yeah.
I think that it's for certain people for certain things, but for me, it seems like a lot of work. Now, I do think you should get in front of your customer though. I'm a huge advocate of grassroots marketing. So when me and Justin first started, the first thing we did was we went on the HBCU college tour. That was the first, I'm talking about month one, Justin was in the business, we were on campuses because I knew our customer was there. We were on campus.
Yeah.
We used to throw parties on campus. We were super active. Yeah. We were a part of like student council and all of that. So I knew that our customer, we could go to them and they would buy. So we went to Howard, we went to Hampton, FAMU, North Carolina A&T. Those are the first 4 schools we went to. Killed it. I'm talking about $10,000, $20,000 in a weekend.
Right.
And so what we did was not only did we get sales, but we got new contacts and we got people to know about what we were doing. You got 100, 200, 300,000 people, a targeted group of people in an area that they're looking for stuff like yours. And so we literally just capitalized on people already bringing the people there for us. The school's gonna bring the folks. Now we just have to show up to present something to them. And so we did that. But I also think that selling online is an amazing thing as well. I think it's easy. What happens is you promote to them, they buy, you ship. Simple, that's right? It's your return policy can be whatever it wants to be. We don't really do returns, but like certain situations we do. I just think it's easy to do it that way, but I think the grassroots and really building that foundation is good too. So I think a combination of both, but never brick and mortar for me.
Right.
Because the e-commerce, you don't have to worry about the overhead, the staff, the hiring the security, cameras, internet. Like it's so many more things that you have to do when you have a brick and mortar. So I'm all for the e-buying. That's what I'm about.
And then so if I hear you correctly, the e-buying is the way to go because at the end of the day, you get higher profit margins, right?
Yes,
because right now, you have a big warehouse. You warehouse all your stuff. You have a team that and you don't have to pay for the extras, the extra things that happen. Yeah. And so what's your thoughts on because you mentioned this earlier about somebody starting a line. And they have the T-shirt and they just have the dollar printing. There's companies out there like Printful and Printify where people are using in order to start their businesses. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it depends on what kind of person you are. So for me, I like to be a practitioner. So I like to physically see the product. I like to see the quality of the shirt. I like to look at the print. I like to feel it. I like to see how we bag, fold it. I like to see us put a card in there. I like to see all of that. And I also like getting all the customers' information. See, a lot of times when you do those third party, you might not get all the information, which is the real money. Honestly, being able to reach them more than one time. But some people, they want to be hands off. They want to say, I want to sell a shirt and do nothing else. I'm actually starting a dropshipping business where I will literally sell the stuff and I will never see, touch it, and it's going to make money. That's a business I just want to make a little extra bread. Nobody will know it's mine. So I think there's time for that and space for that. And I think there's space for the other way. But you got to look at yourself. See, a lot of this stuff comes with self-realization. Who are you as a person? Do you want to do the work? Do you want to hire staff? Do you want to manage? Do you want to do bookkeeping? Do you want to do all that? Or do you want somebody else to do all of that and you just provide the product and design? So I think both can be successful, but it just depends on the person.
And talk to me a little bit about, ways that you should protect yourself and your ideas, right? Because, there's so many people that have brands, that they put out these, dope sayings. And then, full transparency, right? We talk behind the scenes. When we interviewed Justin, I read comments, I answer comments, and people were like, yo, that's not their company. They stole it from Corey's cousin. And I'm like, what? They stole it from Corey's cousin? I'm like, wait, hold on. What we putting on? I met both of them. I know they good dudes. What's happening? And then, in trying to look up and see like what's happening, I saw like trademark papers and, countersuits and all this crazy things. Trying to protect your brand. So talk about the importance of that. And if you could shed light a little bit on, that situation.
Yeah. I think it's extremely important, obviously, because I went through it. Yeah. So a lot of times when we're telling something to entrepreneurs, we're telling it from experience so that you don't have to go through it. Yeah. A lot of times you're like, why are you charging so much for this information? Well, it's because I spent $100,000 getting this information that I could tell you for free or for whatever price. Right. So me and my cousin actually started the brand together. When I was at Howard University, he was back in Jersey doing his thing, and he had a little clothing brand. Like he was just making clothes, and it was kind of just local, and he was doing his thing. And then we realized that there was something with the colleges there. He like, bro, you killing campus, you throwing parties, whatever. Hey, bro, let's make some designs and let's sell some shirts. So that's when an initial Support by Colleges shirt came about. We were talking about Martin and Will Smith and Fresh Prince and how they used to have the HBCU clothing, and nobody was doing that anymore. So we saw a market that was untapped and tapped into it. The thing about it was, I didn't know that a lot of the business was going down the way it was going down because I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. Right. And so he'd be like, all right, Corey, buy these shirts for me for $20, and then we can sell them for $30, and you take $5 and I take $5. And I'm like, all right, cool. But now that I know that a shirt costs $6 to make, and I'm like, well, I'm giving you 20. And as I started to look at it, I'm like, this don't really make sense anymore. And so seeing how, like, in one way I was kind of getting bamboozled, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really know. And it's a lack of knowledge and understanding. I was in college. I was making some bread, so I feel good. Yeah. I'm making money from parties. I'm getting a few $100s from the clothes. Yeah. I'm straight. But as I started to get older and I realized I was working really hard, I was doing all the groundwork. I got to meet people at their dorms at 1 a.m. to give them a shirt. I got to meet you before the club to get you and I'm doing a lot of work, and I'm like, hey, bro, I think I should be getting some more profits. Yeah. And every time we talked about money, it always got like, it just got too far. Yeah. Every single time. And I remember he used to always say this to me. He said, Corey, all you do is tweet and post on social media. He used to always say, all you do is tweet and post on social media. And I thought that was crazy because now that our business is a multi-million-dollar company, all I do is tweet and post on social media. It's the same thing. Nothing has changed. Except for now people understand the value of doing the tweeting and posting on social media. So it's really crazy that happened. But long story short, the company kind of died down when we got out of college. Me and Justin both were doing separate things. He was working for some company. I think he was like selling scales or something, doing something that he didn't want to do. And I was working at AT&T. Yeah. I moved to Atlanta, got a job with Tyler Perry. He wanted me to help him with some marketing and branding. And I was like, you know what? I want to bring Support by Colleges back. And I kept trying to get Justin down here. I'm like, Justin, hey, bro, I got this idea. I want to bring it back. And Justin kept hesitating, kind of hesitating. Finally, after some months, I got Justin out here. So what happened was we started to do our first college tour again because we were like, the way we started, we did a college tour. Let's do it again. We hit about 4 or 5 schools, and that's October. Around January, my cousin posted that he got the trademark for Support by Colleges. I'm like, I don't see my name on there. Right. And so I hit him up like, bro, what's up with this? Like, and he was like, yeah, bro, I went on ahead and trademarked the brand. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't put my name on it. We did this together. Like, we started it together. There's no support black college without Corey because you didn't even go to a black college. You didn't even go to school. You don't know. Anybody who goes to a HBCU know it's different, right? There's certain things you can speak about with certain schools that somebody might not understand. I might come to you, I say I went to the Mecca. You'd be like, what's the Mecca? Well, if you went to a HBCU, it's Howard. If I say NCAT, that means North Carolina A&T, but if you didn't go, you might not know that. So there's certain things that you just can't know or do without actually attending an HBCU. So we had that argument, well, I made the design, and it was just this whole back and forth. I'm like, let's go to court. Because I know that my side will hold them in court because there was 0 sales without me. I did the marketing, I did the branding, the tweets. The same thing that you admitted to me doing all the time, which brought us in sales, I was doing. I set us up for the homecoming tour. I got the influencers. I put up on Tiana Taylor. She came to the Howard Theater. I had happened to already be throwing parties at the Howard Theater. So the night she came, I said, hey, I asked the owner, can I sneak in here with my bag, give her some merch? He said, yeah, that made us $40,000. So you can't say that stuff is not beneficial. So long story short, we went, try to settle out of court. People hard-headed, so we had to start getting money involved. We hired a lawyer, HBCU grad, obviously. So we knew that she was gonna ride for us because it's a different attachment to it. That's why community is so important. She knew about the brand and loved the brand, so she was already with it. And she went to Hampton, so it's like it was rivals, but we got the same end goal, right? And so we ended up spending about $50,000-$60,000, and we ended up selling out of court after like 4 or 5 months because some people's money was drying up and ours wasn't. So we was like, we can take it to court. This is the last time. But if we make it to that, we putting all our bread into it, and it's gonna turn into that. So we end up selling out of court. But if I would have thought about and understood the process of trademarking my brand in the beginning, I would have saved myself $60,000 in months worth of headache. Like I'm on calls with lawyers like, okay, so here's a story, here's every single piece of paperwork, here's every Facebook post. You save time and money. You can't get that stuff back. You can get the money back, but not the time. And so I think that it's important if you see something that's good, that people are loving and attracted to, go ahead and get that trademark. It don't cost as much as you think. A few $100 and with a solid lawyer, you be straight. So I definitely encourage that because I went through it myself.
No, I love that. And so now, you are where you are right now. You've built this, multi-million-dollar business. If you can go back and talk to 18-year-old Corey, what advice are you giving him?
Man, so much stuff. 18-year-old Corey didn't know anything. I think understanding margins is extremely important. A lot of people are running businesses and they think they're making money, but they're not. They don't know their margins. So let's just say, for instance, this t-shirt costs, let's just say $6 blank, and it cost me $4 to print it. So I'm saying, oh, this shirt costs $10, but that's not the true cost of it. Because, okay, 6 and 4, but then you have to have the staff that bags and folds it. So you got to pay them. Then you're running ads to this product, so that's a cost too. Then you're actually shipping the product, so shipping is a cost. So what is the out the door price versus the price to just get it made? So I would say, well, from each hoodie, we make $30, but in reality, we might only make 16, which means that I'm not making as much money as I thought I was. So last year, Black Friday, when we did $1 million, I'm like, hey, we made $500,000. But really, we only made $200,000 because I didn't know my margins. So if I'm talking to somebody that's a beginner, or myself at 18, I'm like, yo, understand the margins, the out the door cost, the marketing, the branding, the post, how much are you giving the influencer? Is it free? Is it paid? And all that information is going to help you understand how much money you're really making.
I love that. And so dispel a money myth for me, right? Because you said, single parent home, right? Grew up, with your mom. I'm assuming that, you weren't rich, growing up.
Yeah. We're poor, but wasn't rich.
And so a lot of times you hear, different money myths. Money doesn't grow on trees. You got to work hard for money, and scared money don't make money, right? You dispel a money myth for me. Give me something that you might have thought about money coming up, but now you know differently.
Man, that's a good one. I think the thing that actually one of my friends told me is she says she manifests money, right? So she says the more money she spends, the more money she makes. And I was always taught, man, don't spend all your money, save it, and then see what happens. So, or save it for a rainy day. But for me, when she told me that, I'm like, well, explain to me that in more detail. And she was like, well, if I know I'm going to go spend $30,000 at Gucci today, then I know I got to go make $30,000 to replenish. And I thought that was such a dumb thing to do.
Right.
And then as I started to spend more money just in my life, I'm like, hey, yo, now that I did that, let me get on live real quick.
Right.
Let me drop an ebook. And I really could get it right back.
Right.
There's never been a time I spent a large amount of money and not got it back.
Yeah.
I bought my house and I spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? I put a lot of money up front.
What's a lot of money?
So my house was $780,000. And I had to put down, I can't remember, 118 or something because I had to do a bank statement loan because I don't got no W-2s.
Right.
All this other stuff I didn't know about. I wish I would have known about.
Right.
But after I did that, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a mastermind. Did a mastermind, made the money right back. In a weekend from my house.
Right.
So that I used to think I had to save and hold on to everything, but actually I could spend it and I could just go work hard and go get it back. And it's been something I've been living by ever since. Now I'm not ruthless with my money.
Right.
But I understand the fact that I can multiply money anytime I want to because I know how to make sales. I know I have a community. I know that I can teach. And the teaching space, as you know, is amazing right now. My mom is a teacher of 30 years and I understand why she does it. I get joy from seeing somebody have an aha moment from something that I told them. There are people who are like, one step away from, that big break or, one product away or one post away or whatever. And I literally can give them that key that they need. That's why I love it. And that's why podcasts like this are amazing. Because you can watch this and you can literally go make $1 million.
Absolutely.
You can literally go start a business from this podcast. Right. And so that's been amazing for me. And I understood that teaching is the new, it's like being like a new influencer, like being a teacher.
Absolutely.
And I've enjoyed that as well as, being able to put out products and do events. And all of that stuff I've been doing all my life. I've been doing events all my life. I do parties, right? I've been teaching all my life because I teach my people who are under me as promoters how to make sales. And so now I'm just doing that on a larger scale. And now I know that money kind of does grow on trees.
Right.
It really does grow on trees because I can create it whenever I want to.
I love that because it's funny because I was talking to Shans the other day. And everybody got Rolexes and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I gotta get me a Rolex. He was like, yo, just throw an event. Event that you weren't planning to do, and then make the money from the event, and then go buy the Rolex. And it's true though, because I've been in situations where I wanted to buy something that I'm a financial educator, so I got to be smart with my money. And then I'm like, man, I want to take the family on vacation. All right, you know what? Take the family on vacation. It's gonna cost $20,000. All right, let me run a sale on something real quick, or let me do. And literally, you can create money though.
Just like you
really could create money.
I think we have to stop making money so difficult.
Absolutely, I agree.
Let's stop making it so like it's like a puzzle that we're like struggling to put together. It's very simple actually. You do this. You offer this. You sell this. You get this. Right now, the way you do it is the hard part, but the basis of it is very easy.
Absolutely.
And so I think that we have to start making it difficult, stop making it complicated, and just do it. Do it ugly, but do it.
I love that.
Whenever it happens, then even if you make 2,000 instead of 20. But that was 2,000 that you didn't have if you didn't do it. So I think that is possible to just kind of generate money.
But let's be clear though, because I don't want nobody to be like, oh, Ask Cash said you could create money anytime, and I'm sitting here struggling trying to pay my phone bill. You create money because money chases after what? Value.
Value first.
Value first. So when I tell you that I could create money, it's not that I'm not scamming nobody. I'm not, bamboozling nobody. In fact, my favorite book of all times is The Science of Getting Rich. It gets you straight to the bag. And I follow that rule to a T. I will always give more in use value than I get in money value. Meaning that if you gave me $2,000, I gave you $5,000 or $1 million or every time that I give you something, if you apply it the right way, you are getting way more. Like I had a client of mine who paid me, I think $8,000, right, for a consultation. And
you got robbed.
I'm talking about highway robbery.
I already know you got robbed.
Highway robbery. You know why? Because they made 6 figures off of that. Receipts, though. I'm talking about like off of the $8,000 that I charged for a consultation.
I love it.
They're like, with that text too, like, yo, bro, I just made 6 figures, right? And so, the truth of the matter is that don't listen to this whole we create money because you create value, right? And honestly, the first time I was even introduced to you was Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And you was dropping hella game. I'm like, yo, who is this Corey guy? Like, he was dropping so much game, right?
Yeah.
And you weren't charging for it. You weren't telling nobody to buy nothing. You were just straight spitting game, which means that if you making money off the free stuff, you know what I'm saying? Then imagine if you pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? So we did a free event the other day. We did a free Black Friday masterclass.
Yeah.
Me and Justin said, let's do a free masterclass for people who want to learn about Black Friday.
Yeah.
Mind you, we just made $1 million last Black Friday.
Yeah.
So if I'm person A, I'm like, these folks just made $1 million.
Right.
Let me go and get this game.
Right.
500 people RSVP, right? 500 people.
Yeah.
So we were going to have it in our warehouse. And I'm like, well, we can't fit 500 people in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we can fit about 150.
Right.
So I said, look, the event is free, but if you want a guaranteed seat, you can pay $99.
Yeah.
Now, I only said that because people were like, well, I'm coming from Cali. I'm coming from New York. I'm coming from, and they're like, I want to make sure I have a seat. So I'm like, well, you can pay for a seat.
Right.
Because that's really the only way I can get. I can't say, oh, well, he's coming from Cali, so he gets a guarantee.
Right.
I got to sell something.
Yeah.
So people complained about that, right? And then people showed up, right? So at the day of the event, it was 100 people there. 100 people. 50 of which paid for seats and 50 that came for free.
Yeah.
So we gave the game out. I mean, me and Justin left it all online. I don't care if it's a free or pay. I'm giving it all, right?
Facts, yeah.
I'm giving you exactly the emails, the texts. I'm giving you the strategy. I showed you our pre-sale. I showed you our release. I told you everything. So then what happens is people are like, well, do you have a replay? I'm like, yeah, we'll do a replay. We'll do it for $99.
Yeah.
Because I had to pay the people to film.
Right.
And then I had to pay them to cut it, edit it, and then we got to send it out to you.
Right.
People complain about that, right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy because I said, when we do a free event, people don't show up.
Yeah.
When we do a paid event, it costs too much.
Right.
Right? And Neo always says this. Cheap people know the price of everything but the value of nothing. Some people just don't understand what the value of things are.
Yeah.
I gave you $1 million strategy for Black
Facts.
Friday,
Yeah.
and you're talking about $99 is
Right.
too much.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't come because I thought it was going to be too crowded. You don't want to win.
Right.
And you're going to watch people who are action takers who actually showed up. They're going to go and make money while you watch them.
Yeah.
There's a young lady who came in there, and I literally have the text message on my phone. She said, hey, I came to the event. We did an offer for $500 after that, where we give you like everything intangible, worksheets, step-by-step guides, day by day, and 2 consultation calls with us. $500. 2 calls with me and Justin alone is way more than that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we wanted you to be able to can't say no.
Yeah.
She said it's been less than 4 hours from that free masterclass, and I've already made $2,000 from one play I implemented.
Wow.
I said, what play did you implement that made you $2,000 in less than 4 hours?
Right.
And she told me the exact. I said that was in the first 5 minutes of my speech.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things I said. Then we got on live the other day, and she got back in there. She said, "Oh, I made $4,000 more from that same play." And I said, "You see how some people will say, oh, it's gonna be too many people.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to pay $99.
Yeah.
This person took action,
Yeah.
showed up for themselves, and made 4 bands within 3 days of coming to an event that was free.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so important. Like, everybody's always talking about free versus paid and, whatever. I don't care about all that. All I care about is giving value.
Yeah.
And if I give the value, the people who take it are going to win from it, and the people who don't are going to just watch other people win.
Yeah, love that. And so now, running a multi-million-dollar business, being financially abundant, what has been the most extravagant thing you've done with money so far?
Extravagant?
Yeah.
I'm a pretty simple person. Like, I bought a house, but I feel like, I had to buy one eventually.
Right.
It's less about extravagant for me. It's more about just experiences.
Yeah.
I care about experiences. Like, I drive a nice car. I drive a Maserati, but I got that only because the Jeep I wanted wasn't available.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, we got this Maserati. And I'm like, how much is it? Oh, that's not that
Yeah,
bad.
right.
So I'm not really about that, but I can tell you my favorite thing I've done with my money. The favorite thing I've done with my money so far is move my mom and my grandma down to live with me, and I let them quit their job.
Nice.
That's what I care about.
Yeah.
Because my mom, the impact.
Yeah,
my mom was working as a teacher for 30 years. I said, how
Yeah.
much money do you make? It's like $50,000. I said, I can make that in a day. Quit that job. Why are you still there? You're in North Carolina. I'm not there no more. My sister's not there. She's here.
Right.
And my grandma don't work. She get checks from the government.
Yeah.
Why y'all still in North Carolina?
Yeah.
We lived in a townhouse, 2-bedroom. You could come live in this house with me. We got a
Right.
yard.
Yeah.
We got a koi pond.
Yeah,
we got
yeah.
a foosball table, ping
Right,
pong.
right.
Look, everything is
Yeah,
taken care
yeah,
of. So that was my favorite thing. I was like, Mom,
Yeah.
I'm ready for you to come move in with
Nice.
me.
Yeah.
And, granted, being 29, living with your mom ain't that ain't
Right,
the ideal
right,
situation.
right.
But for me,
But you ain't really living with your mama. Your mama living with you. This is a little different.
So it's cool because, every morning the kitchen is clean.
Yeah.
Breakfast will be made.
Right.
So I'm really enjoying it.
Right.
But I think that I want to just travel more.
Yeah.
COVID kind of stopped about that.
Yeah.
So I'm all about experiences and travel.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the material things. They're cool, but I want experience.
No, I love it. Love it. All right, we're going to do a quick speed round.
Let's do it.
What we do is we take bank terms and we flip them for here inside the vault. So the first term is deposit slip. A deposit slip is, what you fill out, you put money inside the bank. For us, a deposit slip is a money slip up, like a money mistake, right? Okay. So what is the biggest deposit slip you've made so far?
Oof. Money mistake?
Yeah.
I would say the biggest money mistake we made is going with manufacturers overseas that were not trusted.
Oh, okay.
There was a time where we basically spent, $50,000 with an overseas manufacturer that was not recommended. It was like one of those trial and error things.
Yeah.
We did a little bit of money with them and it was okay. Then we get the big deposit, ran off on the plug.
Wow.
So we lost about $50,000 to $60,000 on merchandise that we pre-sold. So it was art. So I had to find a whole other manufacturer to make it, and it was a lot. That was definitely the biggest mistake.
Wow.
Yeah. It was bad.
Wow. All right, number 2, charge off, right? A charge off. If you borrow money from the bank, you don't pay it back. They try to get it eventually. They're like, all right, forget it. They charge it off. Here inside the vault, a charge off is what type of people or mindset did you have to charge off during your journey?
What? And that's a negative thing, right?
Yeah, you know what? This type of people I don't deal with, or this way of thinking I no longer deal with.
I had to make sure that I stopped looking at other people's journeys and only focused on mine. And I always compare it to a race. When you're running a race, this is what happens. You're running.
Right.
You right on it. And then what happens is you look left or right to see where everybody else is, and they end up catching up to you or passing you because you lost momentum because you were worried about what somebody else is doing.
Yeah.
So my mindset, I'm like, well, look at this brand. They're doing this, and they're getting this.
Yeah.
Look at this brand. They're getting this and this. And what happens is they start to pass me because I wasn't focused on the end goal, the finish line. Yeah. So I had to change my mindset, the way I look at things. Hey, I don't care what everybody else is doing. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If you happen to cross my path and we're working together or whatever, it's cool. Yeah. But I'm not focused on you or determining what I do based off of your actions. So that's definitely what I had to change in my mind.
Nah, I love that. Love that. All right, last but not least, ATM. Right? ATM is where you put your card in, you get some money out, you're getting, money so you could buy something of value. You drop a lot of bars. So we want ATM, another teachable moment, one more bar. So if you can leave the audience with something, give us something that's going to impact their life forever.
Another teachable bar. I would say, I talked about this earlier on social media, right? I think that a lot of people have fear, right? And fear has been the number one thing that my people say that they have when starting. I'm scared, I'm fear. And for me, fear means fighting ego against reality. Now, what does that mean? To me, it's like you fighting within yourself against what the reality actually is. You're telling yourself this when it could be this. You're telling yourself this and it could be this. I think fear comes from a place when we're younger, right? You're climbing on the monkey bars and you're swinging. Your mom like, get down from there before you hurt yourself.
Right.
Before that, you weren't afraid to get up there. You was kind of like, I'm doing my thing.
Right.
But then once you realized there was a chance for you to get hurt, your mindset about that monkey bar changed. So a lot of people, it's the same thing in our businesses. People have told us, no, you can't do it. That's a bad idea. You're not going to make no money doing that. And we listen to those, and then we have fear. Get rid of the fear, because what happens is, see, God gave us all this vision. God gave you this podcast. God gave me support psychologists. God gave camera people the talent. Everybody has their thing. And when you let somebody talk you out of it that the dream was never made for, that's when you end up missing out on your purpose in life. So a lot of times we listen to people who tell us something, do this, don't do this, and the dream and the blessing was never made for them because God didn't put it on their heart. And now we're suffering because we listen to somebody who was never meant for it. So I say get rid of fear, man. Go for it. Like, just do it. Nike said it. Just do it and watch the results happen.
Wow. Love that. Listen, $1 million worth of game from the man himself, Corey Arvinger, co-owner of Support Black Colleges. If they want to connect with you, get more game, maybe take a program, whatever, where can they find you?
They can find me on my social media at Corey Arvinger, COREYARVINGER. That's where you can find me.
All right, let's do it, y'all. We are closing out the vault. Another powerful episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. Follow me, Ash Cash, at I am Ash Cash. Make sure you like, subscribe, review, do all of that stuff because this is the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll see y'all next time. same time, same place, in God's will. Peace.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the ball.